next big crash, and when everyone else is losing their minds, he's going to back up the truck and buy. Carol, on the other hand, throws $300 into an index fund on the first of every month and genuinely does not care what the market is doing. All-time high, she buys. Blood in the streets, she buys. She might be the laziest investor alive. They both think they've outsmarted the other, and over the next 40 years, one of them gets quietly, mathematically demolished. And it's the one trying hardest to win, because researchers actually ran this exact experiment with a perfect, all-knowing investor who buys the precise bottom of every crash, and even that one lost. My name is Nick, and today we're figuring out what happens when you only invest every time the market crashes, and why the answer should change how you look at the cash sitting in your account. Let's keep this fair, because that's the only way the comparison means anything. Cole and Carol are the same age, same job, same paycheck, same $300 a month they can comfortably afford to put to work. They start on the same day with the same zero in the same kind of account. The only thing that's different is one belief sitting in each of their heads. Carol believes the market is a slow, ugly escalator, and the only job that matters is to keep stepping onto it forever, no matter what floor it's on. Cole believes that escalator occasionally collapses into a fire sale, and the genuinely smart move is to keep your money dry and pounce when it does. And here's the thing. On paper, Cole's plan sounds far more intelligent. Buy low. It's the first rule of investing, the one your uncle repeats at every barbecue like he personally discovered it. Carol's plan, by contrast, sounds like she's not even trying. She's buying high, she's buying low, she's buying on objectively terrible days, and she's doing it on purpose. One of these people is using their brain. The other one is using an automatic bank transfer. Hold on to that, because in about 40 years, it's going to matter a whole lot less than you'd think. So they begin, and for the first stretch, Cole looks like a genius in waiting. The market does what the market mostly does, which is grind upward in a way that's almost insulting to anyone hoping for a discount. Carol's $300 goes in every month and buys a little less each time as prices climb. She's not thrilled about it exactly, but she's also not thinking about it, which turns out to be the entire point. She set the whole thing up one Sunday afternoon, picked a single broad index fund, switched on the automatic transfer, and then more or less forgot her brokerage password. The confirmation emails stack up unread in a folder she has never once opened. Cole, meanwhile, is watching. He's got a watch list. He refreshes it. The market ticks up to a new all-time high, and he actually feels good about it because in his mind, every new high just means the eventual fall is going to be bigger and his entry is going to be sweeter. He tells his friends he's waiting for a better entry point. He says it with the calm confidence of a man who has read exactly one book about Warren Buffett. And then more time passes, and the crash he's waiting for just doesn't come. This is the part the buy the dip fantasy never accounts for, so let me put a real number on it. From March of 2009 to February of 2020, the market climbed for nearly 11 straight years without a single bear market. 11 years. Over that stretch, it returned somewhere around 400%. Now picture Cole sitting through that entire run with his cash in a savings account, refreshing his watch list, muttering that it can't possibly keep going, watching the truck he was going to back up rust quietly in the driveway. Every month Carol is buying. Every month her money is compounding on top of the money she put in last month, which is compounding on top of the month before that. And every month Cole is being patient, which is a very respectable word for doing absolutely nothing while the most powerful force in finance works for someone else. Here's why the timing matters so much, and it's the stat that should make you a little uncomfortable. The market spends most of its life at or near an all-time high. Since 1950, the S&P 500 has closed at a record high on roughly 7% of all trading days, and almost a third of those highs became permanent floors. The market simply never dropped below again. Think about what that means for Cole. Wait for a dip usually translates in practice to wait at a price you will never see again. The market is positive in about 3 out of every 4 years, so Cole isn't betting on a coin flip. He's betting against a loaded coin over and over with his own future as the stake. But maybe you're thinking, sure, but when the crash finally comes, Cole pounces and makes it all back in one heroic move. Reasonable thought. Let's actually test it because somebody already did, and the result is genuinely hard to believe. Charles Schwab ran a study on exactly this. They took 20 years of market history and tested a handful of investors who each put in the same money every year, and 3 of them matter for us. The first had perfect timing. Every single year, this investor magically bought at the exact lowest point, the best possible day every time for 2 decades. The second just fed the money in evenly as it arrived. No thinking, no waiting. Basically, Carol with a different name. And the third did exactly what Cole does. Kept it in cash, waiting for the right moment that always seemed to be just around the corner. Now, before I tell you the results, guess where the cash waiter lands. Because most people assume the gap between perfect timing and everyone else is enormous, and that sitting in cash is at least a safe middle option. The perfect timer, the one who nailed the bottom every year for 20 years, finished with about $186,000. Carol's no-thought approach, just feeding the money in as it showed up, finished at about $166,000. So 20 years of literally perfect, godlike timing beat barely trying by about $20,000 total. That's it. The single best market timer who has ever